There are all kinds of products and equipment and tools that you can buy for your dog, but there's just a set of basics that you need to start with. You need to be prepared for when you bring your baby home with a basic pen brush. I like to use for the puppies a bamboo pen brush. It's very soft. It's doesn't feel very harmful to their skin when they're being brushed with this. However, they will eventually outgrow this. This could be used as a massaging type tool that you would bond with your puppy on a regular daily basis, but you will also need a pen brush eventually, and this pen brush does not have balls on the ends. The balls on the ends promote hair follicle breakage, and if you break your follicles on the hair, that promotes mats. And that's one of the difficulties with Havanese is the grooming requirements. It can be a little bit much for some people who are not used to grooming a lot, or who just don't have the knowledge of how to do the grooming. But a basic pen brush will be helpful, and a lot of these pen brushes come in various sizes. You've got your small, medium, large, and extra large. And one of the things to keep in mind is there'll be numbers associated with your brushes. Those numbers, like this one has a 20 on it, that is the millimeters of the length of the pen. So you see how this one's much longer. It's a 20, I believe a 28. So that would be able to reach deeper down into a coat that may be a heavier coat. So there's different reasons of why you'd have a longer pen brush versus a short, small. This is my normal daily brush that I use with my dogs. If I'm sitting in front of the TV, I just want to do a little grooming with them. I have them sit there and I may work on them just a little bit. This is the size that I typically will use with them. When I get into heavy grooming is when I use my bigger, longer pens. And you may be able to see how long that pen brush is. That one is quite long. I do have some dogs who have very, very full coats. The bamboo brushes come in round, they come in long, they come in square. It's whatever you choose is the best. Even if you don't want to buy a bamboo pen brush, that's fine too. But having your basic pen brush is going to be very helpful on a daily basis. You also will need some type of greyhound comb. You're going to have your fine and your more coarse brushes. You also have more of a flea comb. It too has a fine and a coarser, and all that refers to is the space between the bristles or the teeth of the comb. And I typically use a Chris Christensen. I believe there's a greyhound that I've got, and basically if you get something that has a fine and a coarse, that'll be what you'll need to use. You'll also need something to clip nails with. If you're not comfortable clipping, you can always take them to the vet. They'll be very comfortable doing that. I have been clipping these puppies' nails about every 2 weeks. And what that does is it promotes keeping that cuticle back to where you can keep the nail short enough. Because if you don't keep the nail short enough, the nails end up curling over the pads, and the dog would end up walking on their pads with their nails pushing the pads up, which is the improper form for the way a puppy should be walking, or a dog. So they should have the nails short enough to where they can walk on their pads, not on just the heel of their pads, because that does promote arthritis otherwise. So I use a kitty nail clipper. This was in the cat section. You can have one for dogs. It's whatever you use that's the most comfortable for you to hold on to and clip the nails. After I've clipped them, I use a nail file that I got from Sally Henson, one of the beauty stores. And sometimes if you do cut too short, you will get a bleed, and it is an arterial bleed, so you may need something to stop the bleed. And the Styptic powder has a little bit of an antibacterial in it, and it also has something to help the bleeding stop. Also, a toothbrush is very helpful to start with your babies. If you're afraid this won't work with them, they do produce little fingertip nail or fingertip toothbrushes. And you can use that just to gently massage their teeth so that they get used to you having your finger in their mouth. Now, when you're brushing, you don't want to brush their hair when it's completely dry. You want to moisten that hair so that you're not going to be breaking the hair cuticle. You're just going to spritz it lightly and then brush. I use Isle of Dog as my leave-in conditioner. This is different than your shampoo and cream rinse conditioner. And this is very concentrated. It takes 28 pumps to 8 ounces of water. So these bottles, of course, were graduated. At the very top is 8 ounces. So it makes it very easy for me just to put 28 pumps in there, and then the remainder would be water. And then, of course, you do need a basic pair of scissors, possibly, if you're going to be rounding the feet or if you're going to be snipping the little eye hair. But be very careful with that. If you're not comfortable with any of this, you need to find a good groomer that can help you on a regular basis, that is comfortable with puppies and that is patient with puppies, because puppies get scared, and you need to train them from the very beginning that this is a fun thing and it's something we do. It's like a suck it up buttercup type philosophy. You're going to sit on the table and we're going to be groomed, and it's going to be okay.